And in theaters this weekend, I plan to go see this on Sunday. Captain Phillips, rated PG-13. It debuts today nationwide. And Machete Kills, rated R. All right. And it's time now for news headlines as we're straight up past 12 o'clock. A minute past 12, that is.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
I'm still thinking about that pretzel maker. Why don't they have a homemade taco maker? In news today, the shutdown negotiations have finally begun. 10 days after the federal government, legislators are finally getting their act together and getting serious about negotiating. After a meeting yesterday afternoon between House Republican leadership and President Barack Obama at the White House, both sides say serious negotiations are underway. While no decisions were made, both sides agreed that discussions and progress are continuing. A 17-year-old's body found stuffed in newspaper, or rather with newspaper. Medical examiners determined the 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson suffocated after getting stuck in a rolled-up gym mat while reaching for a sneaker. His body was found in his high school gymnasium. His parents, however, got a court order to have his body exhumed, doubting that his death was an accident. During his second autopsy, examiners found that the teen's internal organs were missing and that his body was stuffed with newspaper. It's unclear at what point after his first autopsy that his organs were missing. The investigation continues into the cause of his death. And prison report states that Cleveland and serial rapist Ariel Castro could have died as a result of autoerotic asphyxiation. He was found hung by his neck in a cell from a bedsheet in what was at first presumed to be a suicide. However, he was found with his pants and underwear around his ankles. He left no suicide note, and mental health professionals counseling him at the time said he made no indication of suicidal thoughts. Castro was serving a sentence of 1,000 years after pleading guilty to the kidnapping and rape of 3 women over a period of 10 years. Those are the news headlines for today. Wow. That puts a whole new twist on the story. But that's the thing that bugs me about suicide stories. It seems to be a Hollywood cliche. Well, and I've even heard it in TV shows and movies, and even on news stories on major networks. They're saying, did he leave a suicide note? Well, not everyone that commits suicide is going to leave a note. Most of the time, they don't. Most people who are suicidal are so wrapped up in their own problems in their own mind that they don't give a damn about anyone else. That just bothers me. Oh well. I'll save that discussion for another time. It's time for a look at the weather forecast. And you can get the weather forecast across the greater United States 24/7 via my website, tinyurl.com/Gunther's House or /Gunther Mobile. Click on the weather link or weather button, and you'll get direct access to the Weather Channel website at weather.com for the latest. And here's the intro.
Winter weather warning right now. Here's a live look at the Fox 6 snow stick. This is out on the weather dick.
And take a look at the weather forecast for the United States of America as we end this working man's work week and look into the weekend. Starting off, in the south, most of the region will continue to enjoy sunny, dry, and pleasant conditions for today. One exception will be a pesky low-pressure system near the mid-Atlantic coast that will bring showers and some gusty winds to far eastern North Carolina and the Outer Banks. A few spotty showers and thunderstorms could pop up over parts of southeast Texas today. Temperatures are expected to remain on the cool side from Virginia to eastern North Carolina, with temperatures mainly in the 60s to around 70. Highs mainly in the upper 70s to low 80s across the rest of the region. A few spots in southern Texas will see highs in the low 90s. Showers and storms will begin to blossom across Texas this weekend with some much-needed rainfall. In the northeast, an Atlantic coastal storm will be very persistent from Pennsylvania and New Jersey into the mid-Atlantic region through tomorrow. In fact, some of those showers and wind will linger across along the mid-Atlantic coast into early next week as the storm slowly weakens. Coastal areas from the mid-Atlantic northward will see gusty winds, elevated surf, minor coastal flooding, and rip currents along with the rain. 1 to 3 inches of rain, locally higher in they did it again. Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia area, looks like Delmarva, is likely from Pennsylvania and New Jersey into the tidewater through tomorrow. These coastal conditions will last into the upcoming weekend as the storm system stalls. Highs will be in the 60s to near 70 across much of the region. A few 70s likely in the Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia region along a warm front. Here in the Midwest, storm system ejects out of the Rockies and into the plains with plenty of rain, wind, and a few strong thunderstorms today. Locally, heavy rain will fall on top of melting snow to produce some flooding across western South Dakota through today. The best threat for strong to severe thunderstorms will be across the eastern North Dakota region into western Minnesota late this afternoon and evening. Hail and damaging wind will be the primary threat. Isolated storms may develop along the front into Iowa and northern Missouri. Windy conditions are expected to prevail through the Dakotas today, with some gusts over 50 miles per hour. Highs in the 70s and 80s today from the Great Lakes back to the southern plains. Chilly 50s, 40s in the higher elevations across parts of the western Dakotas. Much cooler air overspreads much of the region this weekend. A stronger storm may affect the plains and Midwest early next week, with severe storms, rain, and some snow. And finally, out west, weather conditions across the region will be much improved today as the snow diminishes through the Rockies. Lighter winds into the Albuquerque, New Mexico area and most of the southwest for the rest of today. Temperatures will generally be about 5 to 10 degrees below average across much of the region. Highs in the northwest and Rockies will be in the 50s and 60s, with 70s to near 80 across the southwest. Cooler 30s and 40s are anticipated in the Rockies. Our forecast calling for mostly sunny skies with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms after 5 o'clock this evening. Highs in the upper 70s. Breezy with south winds at 15 to 20 miles an hour. Wind gust up to 30 miles an hour is possible. And then for tonight, chance of rain and thunderstorms mainly between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. tomorrow. Otherwise mostly cloudy. Lows in the lower 50s. South winds about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Shifting to the west after midnight. Wind gust up to about 20 miles an hour. And it looks like we're seeing a 50% chance of precipitation. Rainfall amounts between a tenth to a quarter of an inch are possible, except higher amounts possible in the areas of thunderstorms. Then for tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, a little bit cooler. Highs in the upper 60s, northwest winds at about 10 miles an hour. For tomorrow night, turning mostly clear, lows in the lower 40s, northwest winds about 5 miles an hour. Sunny skies on Sunday, highs once again in the upper 60s, lows in the mid 40s, northeasterly winds at 5 to 10. For Columbus Day, partly sunny skies with highs in the upper 60s. A 70% chance of showers likely for Monday night, lows around 50 to 55. Then for Tuesday, another chance of rain again with highs in the lower 60s. Mostly cloudy by Tuesday night, lows in the mid 40s. Partly sunny Wednesday, highs in the mid 50s. Partly cloudy Wednesday night, lows in the lower 40s. Mostly sunny on Thursday with highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Take a look at conditions across the Show Me State and across the region. And at last report, bear with me for just a moment here. Partly sunny skies and 73 degrees in Kansas City. Kirksville checking in with sunny skies, 74. 73 at Springfield, 74 in Columbia, same for the state capital. Whiteman Air Force Base, 74 degrees, and sunny skies, 75 degrees in St. Louis. Locally, winds are out of the south at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Relative humidity is at 59%. Barometric pressure continuing to drop, now at 29.91 inches of mercury. Across the region, and variably cloudy skies with 72 degrees in Topeka, sunny and 75 in Manhattan, 76 and mostly sunny in Wichita, 73 and sunny in Lincoln, 72 at Des Moines, 68 under cloudy skies in Lamoni. And that is a complete look at the weather forecast on this Friday. All right. Now, what do I have for you? What do I have coming up next? I have celebrity birthdays in a few minutes, as well as Today in History, and the CBS World News Roundup, along with the Friday Funnies a little bit later on. Right now, though, we're going to take another break, and when I come back, I'll have market information for you, I hope, in a few minutes. But first, before then, it will be the Composer's Date Book and the Writer's Almanac. So stick around, my friends. More of this discombobulated edition of First Cup is on the way, so stick around. I know you're going to enjoy it thoroughly, because otherwise, why would you be here? To listen to the freak show? Well, that works. Excuse me, that works. So we'll be right back, friends.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I'm Social Security Commissioner Michael Astrew.
And I'm Scott Gould, Deputy Secretary of Veterans Affairs.
Every 2 minutes, the U.S. government receives an identity theft complaint.
Don't let criminals take your money. Never give your Social Security number or bank account information to anyone unless you initiated contact.
Treasury, Social Security, VA, and other government agencies will never contact you by phone, email, or text for this information.
Watch your accounts carefully.
Don't be a victim. Visit stopfraud.gov or call 877-ID-THEFT to learn more.
The Writer's Almanac podcast is supported by the Poetry Foundation, publisher of Poetry Magazine. You can browse back issues of the magazine and become a subscriber at poetryfoundation.org.
And here is the Writer's Almanac for Friday, the 11th of October, 2013. It's the birthday of the man who founded the YMCA, Sir George Williams, born on a farm in Somerset, England, 1821. On this day, went off to London, got a job in a draper's shop. It was a sweatshop. He became a devoted Christian, wanted his fellow laborers to have some place they could congregate outside of work and a place where they wouldn't be led into the temptations of drink, a place they could go to develop a, quote, healthy spirit, mind, and body. Today it has 45 million members around the world. It's the birthday of Eleanor Roosevelt, born in New York City, 1884, who was First Lady longer than any other, and who, during her husband's presidency, campaigned hard on the issue of civil rights, which was not so popular back in the 30s and the 40s. Eleanor Roosevelt, who said, "You wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do." It's the birthday of a physicist, Lewis Fry Richardson, born Northumberland, England, 1881, the first to apply mathematical techniques to predict the weather accurately. Wrote a book about it in 1922, Weather Prediction by Numerical Process. The problem with the theory was that it took him about 3 months to predict the weather for the next 24 hours. It had to wait until the advent of the computer to work. It was on this day, 1962, Pope John the 23rd convened the first session of the Second Vatican Council, Vatican II, as a result of which Catholics were allowed to pray with Protestants and go to weddings and funerals in Protestant churches. Priests were encouraged to perform Mass facing the congregation, and priests were allowed to perform Mass in languages other than Latin. It's the birthday of the novelist Elmore Leonard, New Orleans, 1925. Started out writing westerns in the early 50s. His first novel, The Bounty Hunters, came out in 1953. Then, when the market for westerns seemed to be drying